he asked,
No,
but
that
I
was a
think
good
it
answer.
has some applicability.
Now the last questions from the amigos are, and I think you answered already, but when you entered the military, did you plan to
Yeah.
make a career of it
So like I
from
said
day
before,
one?
I planned on doing my 5 years, and always said to myself, "Hey, I'm gonna stop doing this when it stops being fun." And inevitably, the Army would give me some sort of assignment or challenge that I found fun, and I would stick around again, and then I'd be like, maybe I should go do something different. I, had always thought about being a lawyer at some point in time. But like I said, it kept being fun, and I kept sticking around until I hit 24 years, and then I decided that I needed to go try to do something else. And the army was still fun at that point in time. However,
Okay, now
my daughter was here in Columbus, and the Army wanted me to move, and I didn't want to be away from her and not play a role in her life. So, you make those tough choices. Yeah.
okay, now here's a weird question from me. This me. Uh, like when I was in the military, the first thing I would do when we got out of wherever we were, I would always get in my room or wherever, undress, iron my uniforms, hang them up. Um, so that's become a quirk of mine that, like, as soon as I get home, even if we go out to dinner, within 5 minutes I'm back in shorts and a t-shirt. What is one quirk that the military has taught you that you do automatically without even thinking about it, and people look at you like, why?
So
But
two of them.
you do.
So first off, I make my bed every morning. Just like Admiral McCraven said in the speech. And then second,
Yeah.
I always lay my clothes out the night before, and it's part of that. Hey, always be ready for the next day. I always figured out. Sorry, my dog's growling at people walking on the street. Uh, always tried to be prepared, and always, you always sort of realize that in the military, things are always busy in the morning. And for me at least, if I got up and was trying to, get organized and get out the door, inevitably I would leave something. And so I learned a long time ago, you pack and you lay everything out the night before, because if you don't, you forget something, and it becomes a more challenging day than it needed to be.
Okay, the last two questions. What are you doing now, and how could we
Yeah.
find you, and how can we
So
support your mission?
I'm running my own company, which is the Fivecoat Consulting Group. I'm at www.thefivecoatconsultinggroup.com. Like I said earlier, I'm in the process of publishing a book on grit called "Grow Your Grit." It will be out in mid July, but should be in a week or two. If you visit my website, there'll be a link to do pre-orders once we get the cover design finished and it up on Amazon for pre-orders. And if folks like me, I blog. If you come to my website, I do twice a week blog posts on leadership and grit ideas. They come out Monday and Thursday. For folks that have made the transition, there's a lot of stuff. I've done over 100 blog posts on military ideas that can translate into the corporate world, that are good refreshers that you might have forgotten about, like task and purpose, or using the back brief, or leader's intent, as ways that you can take some of the skills that you had in the military and apply them to corporate settings. Or for folks that never served in the military, they're great tools to use in a corporate environment or nonprofit to help align or give folks purpose and direction.
Okay, now the last question. Because
Okay.
if I ask 100 people, I get 100 different answers. That's why, if you know somebody that's struggling or is just transitioning out, or if they're still in the military and don't know where their future lies, what is something they can do in the next 24 hours? Because we're so busy with life now, with grandparents and parents homeschooling kids and the crazy world we live in, that if you ask an average person to do something in 7 days, they'll never get to it. But, if you ask somebody to do something, take an actionable step in the next 24 hours, they're more likely. So if somebody's struggling with either transitioning out or even in business, what can they do in the next 24 hours to right the ship?
So I'll tell you what I do when I'm struggling, with a business problem or a corporate problem or a transition problem. Is I try to find, I will go onto a podcast, go into the iTunes podcast and search for a podcast on something that I'm struggling with. And I'll download it to my phone. And you heard my dog in the background, but we go out on a early morning walk, sort of the early morning, our early morning PT session. But I will listen to that blog or podcast for an idea. Your podcast is a perfect one that folks can download. That you've got tons of interviews of different folks that are transitioning. Look for one that catches your fancy or is what the problem is that you're dealing with, and download it and take a listen to it and see if any of those ideas help you get better. And for me, that has been one of the things that has really given me an advantage on the corporate side. This morning I was listening to stuff on self-publishing a book because I'm trying to get better at that. I've been listening to Google ads because I want to try to figure out how to do Google ads and LinkedIn ads. There's so much content out there and so much stuff that it's tough to find great stuff. But once you find one that just sparks one idea, it may help you get over that hump.
Sir, I just want to say thank you for hanging out with me today. And I know it's been a pain in the neck because being blind, sometimes I can only use LinkedIn because it's easier to be able to figure stuff out. So thank you for accommodating me with your time. And thank you for your friendship. Like I said, now we've talked, I consider you a friend, and hopefully the relationship just builds from here. And if there's anything I can do to support your mission, I can't wait for your book to come out. I'm going to push that out everywhere. I just want to say
thank you, Richard, and thank you all for all the stuff that you're doing for the veteran community. This podcast that's one of the top 10 veteran podcasts. You're doing amazing things out there for this community of a couple 100,000 vets that are transitioning every year. And keep it up. I know there's going to be times that, you struggle with it, but keep putting that one foot in front of the other and getting 1% better every day.
And the only thing I'm going to ask is when we get done, later on, whenever you get a chance, just send a picture and a quick quote, and I'll do our graphics and everything. So like I said, sir, thank you
Thanks,
so
Richard.
much.
Thank you.
And God bless you and your family.
You too. Bye.
Have an amazing day.